Salute Knicks Nation. Let's talk about this game as the Knicks went down in Beantown, 123-133. This was another high-scoring affair, but the Knicks fell short after a late run. We'll talk about it. A new starting five to talk about, but the New York Knicks now go 12-9 on the season after another frustrating loss. But the Knicks hung in there late, tried to make a furious run, cut it to 7 with about 4 or 5 minutes to play, but it was too little too late, ladies and gentlemen. The second and the third quarter really hurt us tonight. The first quarter was solid after making the starting lineup change with Quentin Grimes now coming off the bench. Quentin Grimes had a feel-good performance, getting some kudos online, and we'll get your thoughts, and I'll give you mine on this change-up, which was a little surprise. Obviously, we've played 20 games. Tom Thibodeau has made adjustments in the past, and he did it again tonight. After 20 games, scrapping the previous starting five, ladies and gentlemen. But another loss, high-scoring affair. Offense isn't the problem at the moment, unfortunately. It's defense, as both sides shot 40%, but the Boston Celtics had 10 more attempts than the New York Knicks. They shot 47 threes, hit the same amount, same percentage. They hit 4 more threes than the Knicks. The Knicks shot 37 threes, hit 15, and the Celtics hit 19, shooting 47 attempts. So both shot 40%. But yeah, the defense in the second and the third left us with a hole, to overcome. Obviously, the balanced scoring tonight for the New York Knicks with 6 in double figures. RJ Barrett was solid and efficient. Good to see RJ have a solid game. Randle and Brunson both had their struggles getting in the groove. Julius Randle did turn the ball over quite a bit tonight. Boston's defense, I've got to give credit to them. They're one of the better defensive teams on the perimeter with Drew and with Derek White, man, who came up with a critical steal. But the starting five lineup, right? I thought it would benefit the New York Knicks both ways. DiVincenzo had an okay game, but obviously Quentin Grimes played well off the bench, had the better game. So, yeah, a lot of people are going to, I feel like, look at it in both ways. Should we have made the switch up so early? I'm cool with the switch up. It's what I wanted, and it's good to see Grimes get going off the bench. DiVincenzo, as you see on the screen, did hit an early 3 as well, so he didn't have a bad game by any means. I think as a team, the New York Knicks were poor defensively as a team tonight, man. Poor on the closing out of the threes. It was probably worse than the Milwaukee game, if I'm being honest. The New York Knicks just were really slow rotating, blowing by their with the contest, blowing by the shooter. As we know, Clyde hates that. He called that out as well. Tom Thibodeau, I thought the substitutes were quite average tonight. He left Randle on the bench late, and the Knicks made a run. But yeah, you see RJ Barrett. He picked up some assists as well and scored efficiently. But yeah, the New York Knicks are now 12-9. I'm not going to get too down about this one. Can't get too high, can't get too low, because this road trip is really going to be important for the New York Knicks to pick up some wins. We're still in a good position in the East in terms of the standings, but the reason I got to keep it real is because the Boston Celtics are, by all accounts, look like they're going to be a team that we should see in the Eastern Conference Finals. So you got to take that into account with the Knicks going up against, arguably the best team in the East as well. We fall short again, which is frustrating. Although I didn't feel like we played anywhere near our best. We shot the ball much better. But like I said, man, offense isn't our problem really at the moment. What's not as big of a problem, I think, as defensively, fam. But yeah, as always, we're going to shout out the chat. Break it down, give out the grades, and look at the road ahead, man. And look at the standings, and salute to Knicks Nation. Replay squad. The streets are buzzing, and smash that like button. appreciate you for supporting and rocking out with us. And yeah, the chat, welcome in to the post-game live with CT. And as always, we're going to give out the grades, and I want to get your grades as well. As Daniel, salute. Trini's in the chat. How you guys feeling? Heartbreaking, Trini. Yeah, definitely. Trini says Tibbs cost us the game, in your opinion. We'll give Tibbs his grade, but yeah, I didn't like some of the substitutions. Also, yeah, defensively, we're coming out in the third, poor again, a step slow. So that's been a trend that we needed to buck, and we didn't. After a solid start, first quarter, ladies and gentlemen, the score at the end of the first quarter was 32-33. We're only down 1 point. We weren't playing particularly great, but we're playing okay. High scoring affair. Randle was getting into the paint. Devo hit an early three. RJ was getting Mitch with a dime. But Kristaps Porzingis was the difference, really, and Jason Tatum. KP had 8 points in the first quarter, and the Celtics were hitting their early threes as well. Grimes hit his first three straight after coming straight off the bench, which was great. It's what you wanted to see. They ran a play where they set a screen for Grimes coming baseline. He hit his first three. Grimes ended up with about 13 points on efficiency. We'll give Grimes the grade in a minute. But yeah, balanced scoring early for the New York Knicks. We had 3 players in double figures at the end of the half. But yeah, it was the second quarter where we started to dig ourselves a hole. Poor defense, couldn't get stops, and we were really slow helping. Helping double. Kristaps Porzingis was allowed to go 1v1. Jason Tatum. We're really lacking that size, ladies and gentlemen. Buzzer beater, salute. What's good, fam? I'm feeling good. Yeah, EJ will be back hopefully in a couple weeks. For anyone that's wondering, I know Buzzer was asking for EJ before. Yeah, EJ's taking care of some personal business. Everything seems to be okay, but we'll get EJ back shortly, fam. But nonetheless, guys, yeah, this season's going to continue to roll, and we'll talk about the road ahead, and I'll talk to EJ soon. But yeah, guys, the second quarter was the start of the funk tonight. We were down 65-74, down 9 at the half. One of the worst quarters of the season for me, the second quarter. Drew Holiday came out aggressive, and the Celtics did start to cool down a little bit. The Knicks went on a 7-0 run, but the close to the second quarter as well as the third quarter killed us. We were trading buckets in the third, but we just had, that's when some bad turnovers started to creep in. Julius Randle was a little bit too much isolation, trying to really attack them at the point of attack. But they've got smart defenders, you've got to be careful. We really needed to move the ball, better and avoid those turnovers. But what killed us tonight, guys, was just too many early threes. So I'm not blaming the starting lineup change. That's not the narrative for me tonight. Some people might think it is. We'll see if the chat agrees or disagrees. I really want to see this long term. It worked for Grimes, and DiVincenzo was hitting some shots early too. I just feel like it's a better mix with this switch up. So I do think it's going to continue. Tibbs didn't change a lineup one game just to revert back. So for anyone thinking we're just going to change back again, that's not going to happen. If I know Tom Thibodeau, he's going to stick with it, fam. But yeah, Joe's in the chat with JJ and Buzzer Beater, fam, rocking out. JJ says the perimeter defense is offensive. It really is. We're really starting to lose discipline, really, and I'm talking about, blowing by the shooter, not staying in front of our man. We're slow switching, and we're definitely poor closing out as well. But you know what they say, some of the best offense brings out the worst in your defense. So I don't think our defense is this bad. We're certainly, really good in the net rating. We've had a couple really bad games with elite teams, and as Clyde put In the chat, fam, we are 2-7 previously against elite teams. Now we'll go 2-8 against elite teams, and of course we're 10-0 against bottom feeders, fam. So what does that mean? We're all the way in the middle right now. This is a team that we're looking at, guys, that, there's been a lot of talk, especially on social media the last few days, fam, about, the Knicks needing a star, certain individuals, personalities taking shots at the Knicks, just because we need another star or an upgrade. There's a lot of teams in the NBA that need that. You don't need to do that to take shots at the players we have. Jalen Brunson is a all NBA all-star type player, and so is Julius Randle, right? Just because we need more help doesn't mean that these guys should be taking shots at the Knicks. But Knicks for clicks, of course, fam, as we always say. And we'll continue to build. Organizationally, people don't look at the facts, but we have a lot of draft picks, and we have not made our all-in move, fam. Where I think you could get critical on a team is if it's made its all-in move, like the Bulls. They're stuck in nowhere. The Raptors kind of made an all-in move. So you can't. I don't think you can get too hard on the Knicks because we are mediocre right now. I think it'll be a good result if we get 5th or 4th, make a deep playoff run, but we really are extra size, extra help away from competing, against these two teams. And certainly we need our best A game, guys, as our Ed, Daryl, and our Big L's in the chat. Lennox, what's good, fam? We need size, yeah. Any names? I'm open to hear your thoughts on who do you think, is a good fit. I'm hearing talk that Indiana is, seriously entering the phase of, trying to go big and get another stud. They're trying to get maybe OG and Pascal, after what Tyrese is showing us, man, in the in-season tournament. But yeah, I think we just need to remain patient, continue to build this season. I want to see more consistency from our role players, from everyone, actually. Brunson's been a little down offensively, and Randle continues his kind of yo-yo play offensively and defensively. But yeah, good to see RJ Barrett have a solid performance. Defensively, we were poor as a team, but RJ was efficient tonight. I loved Isaiah Hartenstein's work too, guys, so we're going to give out that grade as well. Ed says time to make that trade. I think, the front office is definitely going to be looking at the deadline and see what's out there, fam. I'm okay if it's not this deadline, but I think in the off season, well, I think we can all agree that it is time to look at, moving some of these draft picks. Obviously, Immanuel Quickley has looked amazing at points this season. He's kind of somewhere in the middle right now with his play. There are some talk that, some teams like Orlando and San Antonio might be suitors for Quick, or try to enter the sweepstakes. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to move him, but we'll see. We'll see what plays out this year, fam. But yeah, like I said at the top of the show, for everyone just joining, the Boston Celtics and the Knicks both shot 40% from 3. And you look at it, it's like a 10-point margin. And it's like, okay, Boston shot 47 threes. The Knicks only shot 37. So our pace tonight really came back to hurt. We're 29th in the league in pace. And we're not getting as many shots up. You could see Boston move the ball real quick, and that, they were able to get 10 more threes up. And we shot the same. So that's 4 more threes that they got up, that they hit. I think they hit 19 threes, fam, and we hit 15. So they hit 4 more threes, which results in 12 points. That's game, right there, fam. So we got Spree in the building, fam. Want to hear your thoughts, Spree? Denny Advada, JJ likes him. Very solid player, good defender. Yep, he's got the size. I don't know what he's like defensively. I really feel like we need a good shooter, but yeah, we need the length and size first, and then ideally a good player off ball. Um, Also, what are your thoughts on the starting lineup change, fam? Um, Joe says, yeah, he told me the Celts have our number. Yeah, I'm not too down. If you feel me right now, I'm not getting too down. We're 3 games above 500, and we need to mention this again, guys. We've had the toughest schedule to start the year. You know, the fact that we had to play Boston 5 times now due to the in-season tournament, and we've had to play the Bucks 5 times as well. But we're going to look at this road ahead, because this road trip is really going to maybe set up our season, hopefully. And I really think it can. We can take care of Toronto at MSG on Monday, and then back at it on Wednesday on the road. Utah, Phoenix, the Clips, Lake Show, and then Brooklyn. We know that's a home game anyway, so I'm not sweating the Brooklyn one. I think we can beat Utah, and I think we should beat Toronto as well. So realistically, fam, we could split the next 6. It'll be good if we go 4-2 over this next 6, or we could split it, and I won't be mad. If you take care of Toronto, you beat Utah on the road, and you beat Brooklyn at MSG 2.0, that's 500 still, and then hopefully you can nick one of those 2 against Milwaukee, which are both at home as well. So I guess that's the silver lining. We get a chance to redeem ourselves against the Milwaukee Bucks, who flamed out of the in-season tourney against Indiana, who we'll talk about tonight. But yeah, Milwaukee, both at home, we have a chance to avenge that game where they shot 68%, fam. And then OKC, Orlando, and Indy to close the month. So, I mean, if we end up December 4 games over 500, 5 games over 500, that'll be a great position to be in, guys. But, yeah, continue the buzz, the chat. And tonight we moved the ball. We got 28 assists, more than Boston. But turnovers just killed us. And we didn't force enough turnovers too. We are one of the best teams at forcing turnovers. Tonight we only forced 7. And we ended up turning it over 13 times. Julius Randle was one of the biggest culprits. 74% from the line. We shot decent. Mitchell Robinson hurt us there. We'll talk about Mitch. Hopefully his foot is okay. Mitchell Robinson did need an X-ray, I think, or went to the X-ray room. I think at the end of the second or end of the third. But he did come out and took the floor. So it does seem like it's nothing too serious. But Jalen Brunson, with 30 seconds remaining in tonight's game, went down with an ankle roll, stepped on White's foot, and he was hobbling as well. So please, prayers up, and hopefully that's nothing too serious. I mean, the way the season's going, hopefully we get a chance to rest Brunson in some of these games, fam, coming up. Yeah, we'll talk about the stretch coming up, but what is your initial thoughts, guys, with that run? Do you think we can go 3-3 over this next 6? The Knicks rebounded well tonight, 57 boards. The assists were up, but yeah, the turnovers were bad. 50% from the field, you take it. Yeah, there was a lot of cheap buckets late, so the numbers look a little bit deceiving tonight, fam. Really, the second and the third quarter defense from us was poor. Yeah, I love Barrett's 23 points, but obviously Derek White got too loose. He finished with 30. Right, you can't let Derek White go off for 30 on a night KP also got loose. Hart with a huge 16 boards, career high. Hopefully he stays a New York Knick. He's an unrestricted free agent, and that's going to be a storyline, fam, to watch as the season rolls on with Hart's potential contract situation. He could be a nice piece at the deadline that some contenders are looking at. I know if I'm a contender, I'm looking at Hart. If he's a cheap get from their point of view. The fact that he's an unrestricted free agent, do the Knicks roll the dice and keep Hart, offer him a contract, or do they move him? We'll wait and see, but he's playing really well. 16 rebounds, shout out. Horford ended up with 10. He got way too many open threes, as always. Horford's always killing us from deep. Tatum didn't have a really good game, but he was pretty efficient. He was rising up and shooting over everybody. Again, that's where the New York Knicks size is hurting us, fam. So, yeah. Yeah, Nick Yak's highlighting as well. We tied them in shooting in threes. Yep. They just hit 4 more threes because they attempted 10 more shots from deep. But obviously our offense is read and react. Our guys are slow, getting a good look. Not just because it's on them, but it's on the whole offense. Player movement, ball movement, fam, is average. So, yeah, we do need to be better defensively, though. That's our calling card. Really, that's what's keeping us in games, guys. So, we're shooting a decent number for the season from 3, but we're holding teams well below their points per game. But the last 2 games, we've given up 150 something, and tonight 133. That's against our identity right there. So 2 of the better teams. I want to see how we look against the Phillies, against the Indies, obviously against Cleveland's and Miami's again as well. And I do think it's not the end of the world. If we can't beat Boston, we can't beat Milwaukee. If we can fall in somewhere in that 3rd, 4th, 5th range, maybe make a slight upgrade at the deadline, see where we can get, make a run, and we try to nab that star, man. Donovan Mitchell's lingering out there. I don't think the Karl Anthony Towns thing is going to move anywhere. In Minnesota are balling right now, best team in the league. But yeah, I think certainly extra size and another scorer like a Donovan Mitchell. I think Leon Rose hasn't made his all-in move, and we're going to wait to see. But Jalen Brunson's going to be 28 next season. He's 27 now, and I don't want to waste his prime. So that is one of the main reasons to really look at making this move in the next 12 months, even sooner, fam. Because Brunson's not going to get any younger out there, and he's working overtime as well. So, Boston's long, athletic. Those were the stats. Now let's start giving out these grades, fam. Here on the streets are buzzing. If you're just coming through the building, or if you're replay squad, smash that like button. And I appreciate you in the chat, balling out. And this season, right, we're 12-9. And I really have a chance to set ourselves up in this run. We're falling short against these elite teams. We're now 2-8, but we're 10-0 against bad teams as well. So we're falling right in that middle until we land that big star. We won't see much of a change in that. But I do think we're poised to make that move, and we are gonna move these picks eventually, because we're not drafting all of these picks. That's for real. So, first man up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hit on RJ Barrett. Step on up to the podium tonight, RJ Barrett. Let's give out his grade, and I want to hear all your grades as well, everyone. So, Barrett was 9 of 16 tonight in 30 minutes. Got those minutes up a bit more tonight, 56% from the field. And he did miss a couple at the rim, too. And he was 2 of 5 from deep, 40% from 3, tick. And he was 3 of 4 from the line as well. So shout out to Barrett. Efficient night tonight. I guess defensively they can't key on everyone. Barrett was the one that really got loose offensively, was able to be efficient. He was making quicker decisions, but the shot was fallen. 3 assists, 1 steal, and 23 points, minus 12. So, look, we're with Barrett's game, by far his best game, I think, since he's returned from those migraines. So shout out to him for that. You made some nice plays, some assists, reading the D. He found Mitch, like I said earlier. It seems like RJ is the main guy that does find Mitch under the bucket. And, keeping that head up as well, which is key. The good thing is RJ Barrett had no turnovers as well. And this is going to help his grade even more. Because if you look at everyone else, and we're going to hit on them, you see Randle with 6 turnovers, Mitch, Devo, Brunson, Hart all had a turnover. Hart had 1 and Grimes had 2. So yeah, Barrett with 0 turnovers, 3 assists, 3 boards, and 23 points on high efficiency as well. I know RJ Barrett can rebound even better, so I'm looking for that. And he can also get those assists up too. But tonight, yeah, he was scoring efficiently. Welcome back, RJ Barrett. So your grade for me tonight, I see the chat putting some grades through. Fam, so as a whole, I'm going to give RJ Barrett a B+ for tonight. Good to see him hit some shots, fam, and be on the more efficient side of things. And also, 5 deep shots, and hitting 2, 40%. Also, as a team, we're 40%. Barrett got to the line 4 times, hit 3 of them. Well, what are you guys thinking for Bully Barrett's grade? Trini gives Barrett an A- as well. That's a good grade, fam. But pleased for Barrett to bounce back, and let's see this continue, and as a team, we need to be more consistent, from top to bottom. And we're going to talk a bit more about Quickley, obviously the Grimes and the DiVincenzo dynamic as well after we've given these grades out. But the team needs to be more consistent. For us to not be a mediocre team, we need either, like we say, the talent upgrade, or we need the guys we currently have to play more consistently. There's no excuses, right? Everyone's capable. If you're not, swishing early, then dish. If you're dishing early, other guys are going to be swishing, right? Basketball can be quite a simple game. Sometimes you read the defense, you don't force it, and you get the ball moving, fam. So, like Joe says, 4 steals as a team, that's been down as well. We've been better at getting more steals recently. But yeah, tonight, tip my cap to Boston again for taking care of the rock with just 7 turnovers. We need to be better at forcing more turnovers, fam. Maybe that does result in the suffering of Grimes not being in the starting unit. But Quentin Grimes did play his normal 20 minutes, roughly. So we're about to hit on Grimes. So, yeah, Bully Barrett, let's see you back at MSG and for a big game against the Six. Again, your hometown team. This time at MSG. And we took care of them last time, fam. Now, next man up is Julius Randle. Julius Randle's been on a tear coming in recently. Now, tonight, he was decent offensively. 7 of 15, 3 of 4 from deep. The 3-point shot, on the positive side, Randle's been shooting the 3 ball much better on the same kind of volume. So he hasn't been shooting more attempts, but he's just been more efficient. He did get to the line 4 times, hit 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block, 6 turnovers, 2 fouls, and 20 points, minus 18. Now, Julius was frustrated tonight because, he did get hit a couple of times, and I tweeted a graphic out, the Drew Holiday one, man. He hit Randle on the forearm, right? He hacked him, and it was a simple call for me, but the ref didn't call it. Randle was, not more in his kind of worst state, but he was arguing with the refs a bit. I didn't really feel like Randle had a poor game, but as a team, as a whole, we were slow closing out. But the turnovers obviously really, really hurt us, right? 6 of the 13 turnovers went to Julius Randle. He's been slightly better recently, averaging 3 turnovers, but tonight we've got to get on him for these turnovers. He's simply got to be better than that. Move the ball faster. Tonight he held on to the ball way too long at times, kind of the worst version of Randle in that moment, with the shot clock going down, pump faking as well. But offensively, he was okay. He was more than solid offensively with the 3 ball, getting to the cup, getting to the line. But the turnovers really, really hurt us. What do you guys give Julius Randle, fam? Nick Yak, is this for Barrett or is this for Randle? I'm going to assume it might be for Randle. B+. Trini goes B- for Julius Randle. I think that's pretty solid. That's where I'm leaning towards. I could go a B, but I'll go with you in a B-. You look for Julius Randle. Would have been much better without all those turnovers, and I think we really would have been more in this game. I think we would have had a much better chance pulling this one out. Mind you, it's tough winning on the road against the at the best of times, but we're playing against, like I said, the team that's favored to make the Eastern Conference Finals. So we got to take that into account. We are a step below these teams. We're certainly capable of beating them, but we just need to bring our A game. Simply put, like defensively, I'm just not seeing that same hunger. Obviously, KP shooting over dudes, that's not something we can really do too much about. But what we didn't do tonight, we didn't bring the help soon enough. There was times even Clyde called them out. It was Brown backing his man down for like 6 steps before, and the help never arrived. Sometimes, Kristaps Porzingis, shooting over Brunson or Randle, and the help wasn't coming. So we're going to give Tibbs his grade. But yeah, the team defense was a basically a D tonight, D or an F, I think, as a team. It's only that we're able to hit shots quickly, early, late in the fourth quarter to get back into this game with a 15-5 run. Now, next man up is Jalen Brunson. Talking about Randle, talking about Brunson, as I mentioned earlier, we need consistency from these guys, to finish with 50 wins, make the top 4 seed. We need consistency from these guys. And Brunson and Randle have been a little inconsistent lately too with their defensive play. Now tonight, Brunson was 8 of 17, but missed all 5 of his threes. So, ouch. The 3-point shooting early that's been hot from Brunson has come back down. But he got to the line 9 times, hit 7, got 4 assists, 1 rebound, 1 steal, and a turnover. 23 points, but was a minus 21. So it was mismatch city tonight. Like I said, they were getting lost on the switches, and guys on an island with a bigger guy as well. So these guys need to figure out whether they're fighting over the screen. If they need to do that, they need to do a better job, or they need to stop switching so much, because tonight against these bigger teams, they're just hunting the mismatch too. So up and down game from Brunson. I like the fact that he got to the line 9 times like he does, picked up a couple late cheaper buckets. The 3-point shooting is really hurting us. On a night where we shot 40%, for Brunson to not even hit a 3, that could, right there, that could be the difference between really being in the game late, really late. If Brunson hits a couple of those 3s, from deep, we're in this game. So yeah, he's not shooting well recently. After shooting hot to start the year, we need that 3-point shooting back, Brunson, if we're gonna knock the head off of these heavyweights, fam. But look, 47% on his field goal, 4 assists is okay, but the minus 21 really hurt us as well. So got to take that into account, fam. Overall, I'll give Jalen Brunson tonight a B. a B for his grade. Could be a B minus considering the minus 21. But yeah, was getting to the line 9 times, got 4 assists, got his 23 points. Yeah, it just wasn't his night. Defensively was taken advantage of. But yeah, no threes from tonight. What do you give Brunny tonight? Brunson burner. Yeah, as we the grades continue to roll through, we'll get through the starters, fam, and then we'll look at the road ahead. Shout out to Knicks Nation, replay squad, salute, smash that like button, and give us your grades in the comments too. If you agree, you disagree, I want to hear it. Now, next up, right, the gentleman, the big ragu, who stepped into the starting lineup tonight. Devo played his 22 minutes. So, yeah, the noticeable thing is Devo played the same minutes roughly as he was off the bench, and Grimes played the same minutes as he normally does starting off the bench tonight. So there wasn't really a huge difference in minutes allocation. It was simply you're playing with that unit, and I'm playing with that unit as well. So Devo was 2 of 6 from the field, but 2 of 5 from deep, 40%. Got 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a turnover, and 6 points, 2 fouls, minus 21 again. We're seeing a lot of minus, fam, in the starting lineup. I don't think DiVincenzo was that poor defensively, but he was taken advantage of with extra size. Obviously, when I'm talking about Derek White, Brown, Tatum, like I said, too much switching for the New York Knicks. We just don't have the size to switch at the wing spot. These guys are going to get taken advantage of. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a poor defender. We know Donte is solid at getting steals. The height, the size is hurting us, fam. But he hit a nice 3 early at the start of the game, and also got another 3 later. 6 points with the starting unit in 22 minutes. We'd love more scoring production from Devo, but it was the first game starting. And I'm going to grade it a pass for tonight. Grimes looked good off the bench. Devo swished a couple threes. I want to see more of it. It's basically a to be continued for me. But I do give Tibbs props for making the switch up. I do think something needed to be done, and it came out okay tonight. I don't think we're going to lose too much defensively. If Donte helps us stretch the floor a little more with the starting unit without needing the ball, and Grimes can handle the ball a little bit more off the bench, I think we're going to be better in the long term. So with that said, tonight my grade for Devo is going to be, let me get this popping for Devo. I'm going to give him a C plus for his first start for me tonight. C plus because he did hit a couple threes, got us 4 boards, 2 assists. Would have loved more scoring production, but I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of difference because Grimes wasn't basically getting many shot attempts with the starting unit. It was more, when he got the ball, what was he going to do with it? Was DiVincenzo doesn't hesitate. He kind of matches the starting lineup more because he doesn't have a conscience, guys. So, yeah, it's a wait and see. What do you guys think about the lineup change, fam? Vaughn's in the chat gives Devo a C for tonight. Yep, I can feel you on that. I think he did okay as a starter, but I do want to see more, obviously, than 6 points. Especially, but we did start quite well. In the first quarter, we had 32 points. So it ain't like we were off to a poor start with the new lineup. I think it was more in the second and the third quarters. Defensively, we weren't closing out. We weren't rotating like we should. But yeah, man, the minus 21's bad. So as a team, we need to pick it up real quick because we know Toronto's going to try to come at us at MSG and get some revenge, fam. But yeah, that was Devo's first start. I'm going to give him a C plus for tonight. What do you guys think? Now the last man in the starting lineup is Money Making Mitch. Like I said, little injury scare tonight with his foot. Went to the X-ray room. I didn't really see much in terms of the play, but I do feel like he's okay because he came back on. He wouldn't have come back on, if it was something serious. Mitchie was efficient tonight, 5 of 6 from the field, man, but missed his both free throws again. That is really hurting us, Think about it. We did cut the lead to 7 late in the game. A 3-pointer here and there. Mitchie hitting his free throws. It could have been a 4-point game, fam. So, as much as I don't want to do this, I'm kind of giving up on Mitch's free throws for the season, right? He's had all summer to make a change, an adjustment in the form or whatever it is, and it just hasn't happened. That's the most disappointing thing about Mitchie this season. Everything else is perfect in terms of what he's bringing to the table, the rebounding, the defensive assignment, the blocks. Picked up 2 assists tonight, 8 boards, just 2 fouls, 10 points, minus 19 though. We know it's a bad matchup for Mitchie. Kristaps Porzingis was the difference tonight. His floor spacing. I mean, it's tough to always put it down to one thing, ladies and gents, but if we're keeping it a buck, right, if Kristaps Porzingis doesn't play, we probably win the game, right? Such is the difference between, swishing threes, hitting those threes late, without KP, who obviously returned from injury tonight. It was disappointing that he came in and lit us up as well. Yeah, Mitchie closing out, it's tough for him. But considering he was efficient, rebounded well, 5 offensive boards, just 2 fouls, 10 points, a better night offensively for Mitch. But yeah, as a team, we struggled. So the fact that he was in the minus as well, like a lot of teams. But I'm going to give Mitchie a B minus for his game tonight, fam. What do you say, chat? Vaughn gives B for Mitchie. Yep. With that said, man, yeah, Mitchie does need to continue to work on those threes, but I just don't have any. I don't have any confidence that's going to change this year at all. So, moving ahead now to the bench, let's look at a positive for the night, which was Q Dot coming off the bench and hitting some shots, really making the most of his bench role, his new role. And to start things off, I'll say, the quotes Grimes gave before the game, reported by the beat writers, Steph Bondy, Fred Katz. Grimes was asked, what did Tibbs say to you, about, the starting lineup? What did he say? And Grimes had a positive response. He said, look, we needed a change up, and I think it's the best move for right now. So we don't really know if it's what he's truly thinking, but he seemed quite genuine when he was saying it, and I do think Grimes maybe felt a bit of relief. It's not good to be scoring donuts, as a starting shooting guard, and I think tonight would have just offered Grimes just that little bit of relief. Coming off the bench, with the starting with the bench lineup, the second unit, and are able to hit some shots early, right? Hit his very first 3-point attempt, and that set the tone. He finished 3 of 7 from deep. Shout out, 42%. He was 5 of 10 from the field, 13 points, plus 12. So, obviously the bench unit was key to make a run, which why you see that lopsided plus minus. But yeah, obviously the bench wasn't playing against some of Boston's best. They were playing against the Peyton Pritchards, of the world, the Sam Hausers of the world as well. So you do got to take that into account. But I did like seeing Grimes, come off that bench, hit some shots, played okay, played solid defense, but the size, he was exploited a few times as well. So with Grimes' first game coming off the bench for me tonight, I'm going to give Grimes... he'll get a B plus for me tonight in his role coming off the bench. Quentin Grimes, 13 points, 3 of 7 from deep, getting his groove back. That's what we want to see. The good 3-point shooter that Grimes is. Someone we know. He's capable of getting hot, and we haven't seen it in a minute. Hit a shot early, and I hope this really kick starts Grimes' production and confidence. Long term. That's why I was pro the move. It wasn't that I think Grimes is done, or he's not going to get that flow back. I think that for the reason I wanted the move is because I think this is going to get Grimes activated. And after the first game, it helped. It worked. His defense off the bench is solid. Obviously, you still get that option. If he's balling and Devo's struggling, you can just do what you did the other side, which is finish the game out with Grimes too. Just because Grimes doesn't start doesn't mean he can't finish later as well. But I was for the move because the starting lineup just needed someone a bit more consistent for right now. Vaughan's also gone with the B plus for Q dot. Yep, it was pleasing to see him activated, and long may it continue, man. So, yep. With that said, I think Grimes is going to be good. He's going to be good off the bench, and he's going to perhaps work his way back into the starting lineup, right? This thing ain't forever, We waited 20 games, we evaluated what we saw, and Tom Thibodeau made the adjustment. But it doesn't mean after 40 games that he won't go back to Grimes as well. So I think we can all agree, to me, Grimes has a higher ceiling in the NBA than Donte DiVincenzo, but Donte DiVincenzo's floor right now is higher, and that's why the move was the right move, I think, to make. Let's see it back at MSG, fam. So next man up is Immanuel Quickley tonight. Quick was without the headband tonight. Still got the braids, but Quick was part of the bench lineup that helped us here make a run. He was 4 of 10, but 3 of 8 from deep, 6 of 6 from the line. Shout out 100%. 17 points, plus 15. So one of our Quick's better games recently, much needed in his 25 minutes. He was productive. Defensively was quite solid as well. No turnovers. So got to give him a shout out like I did with Barrett. The only 2 Knicks tonight without a turnover on 17 points. So yeah, tonight I'll give IQ also a B plus. For me, it was in the plus 15, which was huge, helping us make that run. Getting back to the line like he does, he was calculated, drawing fouls, but not trying to do it too forcefully. He wasn't trying to manipulate too much. He was just getting in the right positions, getting his foot near the paint, and getting to that line, hitting all 6 of his shots from the line. So we love that, fam. So yeah, Quick, take that B plus, come back to MSG, and let's light up the Raptors, fam. So next up is Joshua Hart. Step on up, Hart. Hart's usually a good barometer for the team, Tonight, Josh Hart's numbers in 26 minutes was 2 of 4, 50%. He was 2 of 3 from deep. So no hesitation, Hart. That's what we love. He got 6 rebounds. He got 7 assists for Hart. So shout out. Ball was moving with Hart. 6 points, 4 fouls, and a 5 plus in the plus 5 in the plus minus. So yeah, I love Hart playing like that sweet spot of 23 to 26 minutes. He wasn't overplayed. Obviously, we needed a little bit of extra size from Hart. which, in the matchups, he was a little less in the plus minus than the other guys. But the 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 2 threes, he played his role tonight. So Hart was solid. He'll get a B for me tonight. Josh Hart with the B. And I did like the fact that he got the 7 assists and a 1 turnover only as well. So he was taking care of the ball on a night where we had 13 team turnovers as well. And he was in the plus as well. So, yeah. We are capable of making runs, man, against any team. The problem is, we're just not consistent against the good teams, for 4 quarters. You can't beat a Boston, you can't beat a Milwaukee playing 2 quarters, 3, 2.5. You need 4 quarters to beat excellent teams, right? So tonight we shot well from 3. We just didn't shoot more, and we were poor defensively. So it's all correctable. I'm not too down. You can't get too angry losing to, Eastern final favorites, contenders, all of that stuff, right? If we lose to the Heats, the Indies, the Orlandos, the Raptors, then I'm going to get angry. I'm going to get upset because I think we're better than them. We're capable of beating them, all of that. But right now we're just a tier below the Celtics and the Bucks, fam. The Sixers are going to be a real a barometer test too, fam. Let us know how you think we'll go against the Sixers. Now, the final man in the rotation tonight was one Isaiah Hartenstein, Hart. Tonight, man, he was on one from the beginning with a career high 16 rebounds, 4 assists. He got 2 blocks as well. 1 turnover, 4 fouls, and 5 points. Was a +9, was Hart. So, as I mentioned earlier in the show, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. And it's going to be interesting. There's going to be teams inquire, I feel, knowing that he's expiring. Teams love, especially contenders, they love a very productive player on a good salary that's also not committed long-term salary. So Hart's going to be a very hot name, I think, at the deadline. Tonight's performance, though, 16 rebounds, career high. What can you say? Was efficient. Stepped in when Mitch went down. Was a +9. I think his defense has been more consistent this year as well. So he's showing his value on the $8 million contract. And one of the unsung heroes of the team was Hart. But obviously, as a team, we dug ourselves too much of a hole. Can't blame one particular individual, nor was one particular individual much better than everyone else. It was just a poor team effort defensively. However, obviously the plus and the minus do tell who was more productive. So, you're considering it was a career night with rebounds, and what he was able to do, fam, on that side of the floor. He's got to get a B+ for me tonight with 16 rebounds and 4 assists from your backup center. We don't need to talk about it too long, but tell me what backup center in the league gets you 16 rebounds and 4 assists. That's crazy production from a backup big man, who we know can fill in, step in, and do what we need, fam, when someone goes down. So that was the rotation. Now, the coach, Tom Tibbs, step on up, right? We could give Tibbs a grade probably for the last 2 games, right? And this has been the most disappointing thing for me, is the defense, right? He's even getting clowned a little bit online about, from some of his detractors. But yeah, Thomas Thibodeau, right, as a team defense, right, we're not where we need to be. Obviously, some of it's not his fault. The shortcomings in size is on the front office. But with Tom Thibodeau, we're not cohesive enough defensively with either switching, fighting over screens. We're scrambling against these 5-out offenses. And that's what I mean by facing, good defense can look ordinary against excellent offense sometimes. Everyone in the league is striving to have a 5-out offense. Minnesota has it with Karl Towns. If Rudy Gobert is on the bench, Boston can do it with Al Horford and KP, and Milwaukee can do it with Brook Lopez. Denver can do it with Nikola Jokic. There's not that many teams. Miami can do it with Bam. But that's the pot of gold that every team's trying to strive for, man. Have a big man that can shoot. But it does make our defense look ordinary. Tibbs' scheme, he does like to pack the paint. He tells the players to keep 1 foot in the paint and stop the drive. But we're getting torched. We're getting cooked with the 3-point shooters right now. So we got to be more cohesive, fighting over the screens, and not switching so much. And if we're bringing the help on the double, we need to rotate, faster as well. Now it's all good and well to say that. Some of it we just don't have the personnel to execute. Sometimes Julius Randle is not. That's just not on his scouting report. Julius Randle, when he gives max effort, is a neutral defender when he's giving maximum effort. If he's giving anything short of maximum effort, he's a below average defender. RJ Barrett too can be slow rotating. RJ Barrett's by far a much better offensive player than defensive. He's also slow rotating, at times seeing ball, seeing man. Mitchie, as good as he is, has limitations with his size, closing out. That's our kryptonite, fam. You got to be real at times. Every team has a kryptonite. And the New York Knicks big man, he's not a Bam Adebayo, that can come out on the perimeter. He's not a Jericho Sims that can also kind of close out faster as well. So what do teams with a shooting big man want to do? They want to space the floor. They want to get Mitch out of the paint. We're the number one rebounding team in the NBA, and you want to try to get Mitch out of the paint. So some of these things Tibbs can correct. Some of them he just can't. There's limitations, fam. I think with our personnel. So with that said, though, the fact that we've been below cohesion and below effort recently, right? Tibbs, your grade coming up is going to be a C for me, especially against Milwaukee, against the Celtics tonight. We're giving up way too many points compared to our average. We're averaging something like giving up 108, 110 before the Milwaukee game. We give up 150 tonight. We give up 133. So that's too much over, and we need to correct that. Get these guys functioning better in the third quarters as well. The second and the third quarters are the letdowns, right? We've improved the way we start games. We're definitely decent the way we're closing games. I can't complain with the way we're closing games. It's right in the middle. We're lack of focus. We're giving up effort. We're slow in the second and the third quarters as well. Thomas Thibodeau. Having said that, though, on the season, Tibbs still gets a B- at worst, a B where we're 3 games over 500. We're 10-0 against bad teams, but we're 2-8, against good teams, fam. So with that said, man, that's the grade. We'll continue to shout you guys out, and now let's look at the road ahead. However, we are just going to briefly touch on, where we were statistically after 19 games before the Milwaukee game. We were first in opponents' points per game right before we gave up what we gave up against Milwaukee and tonight. So it'll be interesting to see where we fall in opponents' points per game. We're probably going to drop down to 5th. Maybe not so much. We'll see. I'll bring it up for the next post game. Also, we were 10th in opponents' 3-point shooting. God knows that's going to drop big time. With the Milwaukee Bucks, who shot 68% from deep, and Boston shot 40 tonight. That's going to drop. 29th in pace hurt us tonight. And we were 5th in turnovers coming in. Tonight we turned the ball over a bit too much as well, fam. So, yep. That is the story, ladies and gentlemen. But, like I said, I'm not getting too high, not getting too low. Right now, I would have signed up for 12-9. But what's more important is this road ahead. Because we can either set ourselves up, like I said, to make a run for the 4th seed, or we could give up some of the good work we have done earlier in the year. Getting ourselves to be 3 games over 500. And this is the real gut check time, because I mentioned being 10-0 against bad teams and 2 of 8 against elite teams. Well, this road ahead, guys, it's kind of a mixed bag. There's some bad teams and there's some really good teams. Like Phoenix. I'd love to take care of Phoenix, and get revenge on that game against MSG. The Clippers, we beat at home. How do we look on the road against them? It's going to be fascinating. They're underachieving, and they're going to be desperate. The Brooklyn Nets, New York's going to be buzzing, playing the New Jersey Nets for that one. They're going to give us their best punch. And then, of course, the Lake Show, making the championship of the in-season tournament. But before all of that, Utah and the Raps. We haven't played Utah yet. They're poor this year, but, they've got Markkanen. They've got players that can go off at home. We can't take our foot off the gas. And, of course, the Raptors at MSG, I expect us to come out and really take out our anger, our aggression on the Raptors after these 2 bad losses against the Bucks and the Celtics. So, I think we win the next one. I'm going to favor us against Utah. However, first game on a long road trip is going to be interesting. That is going to set the tone. So I'm going to say we win the next 2. And we go back 5 games over 500. Then the Phoenix, Clippers, Lake Show, Nets games are really going to be, a nice test that's going to tell us, okay, where were we sitting right now, because teams are going to start to come up, like the Indianas. That you would think the Heat and the Cavs are going to come back as well. So, yeah, the chat's absolutely buzzing. And what do you guys think with this stretch coming up? Buzzer says the Pacers are for real. They're very, very solid. For real, I agree with you in terms of I think they're going to be competitive from here on out, and they're gonna start to improve even more. I don't know who they can get that's going to take them, though, to the next level. I don't think a Siakam or an OG Anunoby is going to put them in the tier of these guys, the Sixers, the Bucks, and the Celtics. But I think, you can't take them lightly. When the season's done, if they make an upgrade, they might be, competing with us as well. So, 74 points at the first half, definitely unacceptable. That's why Tibbs got a C for me, guys. Yep. Also, Buzzer's saying we're the number 1 defensive team, but we seldom look like it. So yeah, statistically we were third in defensive rating. So we weren't quite the number one team. Some people said we were. Um, we were realistically the third team with defensive rating. Uh, a lot of that was because we were just gobbling up every rebound and not giving teams a second chance. And also we were not turning the ball over, things that we were able to control. So that they're the things we got to continue to do, and but what we got to do better at is lowering their 3-point percentages too. So we're right in the middle. And I think until we make that upgrade, I think people are judging the Knicks unfairly. That's my opinion, because we haven't made an all-in move yet, right? It'd be silly to evaluate the Knicks like you do with the Clippers. The Clippers aren't in mediocrity. Well, they are in mediocrity, and they've made their all-in move with Harden, PG, Kawhi. Their tax bill is insane, and they're not even better than us. So that you could critique heavily. The New York Knicks, you could be angry, pissed off, frustrated, but I don't think you can sit here and say all hope is lost, because we haven't made our all-in move yet. We have all the assets still. So whatever you want to be, frustrated, angry, pissed off, whatever. But I think people saying, that the Knicks are stuck, they're going nowhere, all of that kind of thing, I think that's a bit too extreme. I think that's too extreme because, we have movable parts, we have flexibility still, we still have some guys on rookie contracts, all of that stuff. We have a guy like Jalen Brunson that's shown he can elevate a franchise. Tyrese Maxey is elevating his franchise too. Tyrese Halliburton is starting to elevate his franchise as well. So Trae Young, we should start to critique Trae Young, the Atlanta Hawks more. We should start to critique the Chicago Bulls, the Zach LaVines. They haven't elevated their franchises as well. So I think the Knicks get too much stick at the moment. We'll see where we go from here on out. But we need to rid ourselves of inconsistency. I think that's the most frustrating thing, guys, is the inconsistency of these players. If Quickley wants 125 and 25 mil a year, then he needs to be more consistent. He's capable of it. He's got the skill set. Just be more consistent. Great question, man. Joe says, what are they waiting for then? Well, I'm feeling like they're waiting on Donovan Mitchell. I think that's the first answer I got for you, man. I think maybe they know something more than we do. And outside of that, they're just warm or they're cold on a lot of the guys available. Zach LaVine's, OG Anunoby. They want too much for him, and they're not trading him to the Knicks. Giannis and Embiid aren't going nowhere. They kicked the doors with PG 13, but the Clippers wanted too much, and then also PG wanted the long-term extension as well. So, and then Karl Anthony Towns hasn't become available yet too. So, yeah, all I could say is Knicks Nation, just hold tight, because I think the move is going to come in the next 12 months. Someone is going to become available, but I think up until this date, the Knicks could probably get criticized for maybe not getting Donovan Mitchell, not getting that deal done. But outside of that, I don't really see any other star that was available to us. I don't really think outside of Mitchell, the Paul George thing, like I said, wasn't really able to happen. They did really heavily consider it, but we can't wait too long. I agree with you in terms of Brunson's prime, and also Quickley and Grimes' value might drop. I mean, the disappointing thing with Obi for me was that Obi looked solid in his second year. His value was probably still late first round draft pick. But what the Knicks did was they waited too long, and then Obi's value completely sunk, to 2 second round draft picks. So it's good to hold on to your assets, but you can't hold on too long. Otherwise, maybe the value is going to drop. I think IQ's value around the league is probably at its highest. Quentin Grimes' value around the league is probably at its highest as well. For people that want to trade RJ, his value's probably gone up this year. His value's gone up a bit with his start to the year. But to be truthful with you all, man, I don't think the league is looking around at the Knicks young players saying, "Oh, they're amazing." I don't think the rest of the league is clamoring to take Grimes, Quickley, and RJ Barrett. The Knicks do overrate some of their players. I think the New York Knicks draft picks is what's going to be the most attractive thing, in any kind of deal. So yeah, Buzzer says Quick has to step it up if he wants that big bag. 100% agree with you. Yep, step it up in terms of consistency. Look, the season's young. We're only a quarter away through. But yeah, if you're going to demand $25 million per, you just got to be consistent, fam, and you got to show up against big teams, big games, etc. Too. Buzzer says the in-season tournament should be named after Stern. I was thinking that. I think maybe I don't know why they didn't name it after Kobe. Too. What do you guys think? The Kobe Cup. A lot of these young bulls coming up, these kids growing up, they all know Kobe. Everyone knows Kobe. Everyone respect Kobe in terms of what he achieved in the league. I think it would be a nice, also a nice honoring for Kobe's legacy, winning the Kobe Cup. Maybe they can call the MVP trophy the Kobe Cup for I think what was it, for a three-time Finals MVP, Kobe, or however many Finals MVPs he won as well. I think that would be a nice gesture as well, fam. So yeah, I'm not getting too low after this. We're just not able to hang with the best teams in the East. But what I want to see us do is beat the Sixers, the Magic, the Heat, all of that. Get that 3rd seed, get the 4th seed, improve as a team, and then make that splash, fam. We have not made that all-in splash yet, which is really what this is all about. Chuck's talked about it. Kenny, Shaq, Beat Riders, Woj, Windhorst. It's on everyone's mouth, man. When are the New York Knicks going to make a big splash, right? Leon Rose has been patient up until this date, but their draft picks are coming up this year. The New York Knicks could have 4 draft picks. I think draft night's going to be buzzing, if not the trade deadline. But we'll see where we're at. And yeah, I saw some of the grades for Tibbs. I think Buzzer gives Tibbs an F. Is that for tonight or for the season? Because I think for the season, I think Tibbs has done a decent job getting us above 500 where we're at after a really tough start. But the work is still to come. The heavy lifting is still to come. Let's take care of Toronto. Let's beat Utah and get off to a good start on this road trip. But yeah, let's wrap this thing up. Shout out to the chat, and let's get it on the next one. Replay squad, salute. Orange and blue is what we do, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.